get bad results, unhappiness.
I feel like karma is kin to manifestation. They're on the same family tree, I believe. I think good karma helps with positive manifestation. I may be wrong, but it seems like that should be a law. First off, philosophy is a confession. Don't love somebody that you don't like. Hey, what's up, knowledge seekers? Thanks for clicking on the link. WTJ Knowledge Drops back with another Swami Sarvapriyananda reaction video for you guys. More on that in a second. If you're new, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. If you are a returning knowledge nomad, as usual, we don't have the time for me to express my gratitude for the support. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. If you are new, welcome. My name is Wesley Travis Johnson. This is my channel, WTJ Knowledge Drops, where spirituality meets science, and I try to blend Eastern and Western religion, and we just call it philosophy over here. If that sounds something you'd be interested in, please consider subscribing, becoming a knowledge nomad. If you do, remember to hit the bell so you can stay in the loop and never miss a drop. Alright, so this is the law of karma in Advaita Vedanta. And I've been on a... Okay, so when I first went down the Swami Sarvapriyananda wormhole, I guess you would say, the first one I did was Who Am I? And then I went on and started to do the Upanishad, the Katha Upanishads, and I've gone through mantras 1 through 19, and it's just been about a story about a little kid and his dad and death and all that good stuff. But I want to kind of get back to who I am, the main Advaita Vedanta. So hopefully this touches on what I first got at the very beginning. Alright, let's get into it. From this point forward, if you back out, your device will explode. So watch the whole video and stay to the end.
I get it. Everything is Brahman. In that case, what is the significance of karma in this whole thing? Isn't the idea of karma incompatible with this paradigm, in the sense that if Brahman is everything and the doer is Brahman in that sense, and nothing attaches to Brahman, how does karma work into this?
Right. It's a good question. Girish is asking about the role of karma and what we just talked about. Brahma Naturiam being the only reality and everything else being an appearance, and nothing.
There we go. That's the first time I've heard him say Tunya since I did the first video. I believe that's the word for God, with a big G. The collective God. I think. I could be wrong. I'm probably wrong. Shut up, Wes.
Attaches to Turium. It's not. It's super Teflon. Nothing sticks to it. So how will karma stick to it? And attached to this are serious questions of morality and immorality and reward and punishment, and so many things follow from this question. So it's a deep question. Now, the acts of individuals and the results of those individual acts, all of this is karma. What is karma? The law of karma. The law of karma is action has its results. Actions have consequences.
That's pretty simple. Karma, actions have consequences. I'm definitely interested in this subject because I once filled my karma meter up with bad negative karma, and it came and slapped the shit out of me. Gave me a stroke. So I definitely believe in karma. I have been building my good meter up ever since then.
Good action, dharma, results in what is called punya, merit. And that punya gives a result, sukha, happiness. Bad action, what we might consider evil action, consciously done, when one is consciously naughty. So, adharma, that results in what is called papa or demerit. And the result of that papa is dukkham. So this is the law of dharma, of karma. Dharma, punya, sukha. Good action, moral action, ethical action, results in merit, results in happiness. Adharma, papa, dukkham. Evil action, immoral action, unethical action, consciously done, generates what might be translated as sin, demerit. And the result of that will be unhappiness. This is the law of karma.
Or a stroke. And hopefully you don't get hit with that. If you do, don't die. Shut up, Wes.
And who owns this karma? The agent, the person who feels, I did it. I am the doer. Who is this person? In our present context of Turiyam and the three aspects of the self, it's the waker. Right now, the waker. However much we may do philosophy, if I do something nice, I feel good. If I do something naughty, afterwards I feel guilty. So I own the action and I seem to get the results. Now, this waker is not the ultimate reality. According to the...
Cheers, by the way. Drinking coffee. It is 5:25 a.m. in beautiful Austin, Texas. Let me know where you're at. City, country, and, rep where you're from. Let me know in the comments. I need the engagement anyways.
According to the Mandukya Upanishad, you are not really the waker.
I can't wait for the Mandukya Upanishad. I'm going to that after I finish the Katha one. I think we're finally about to finish the story of the kid and his dad and death. And then we'll get in with the rest of that, the Katha Upanishad. And then after I'm done with that, I'm going to the Mandukya, which I'm really excited about. I cannot wait. Shut up, Wes.
You are really Turiyam, who appears as the waker and functions as the waker. The waker is not ultimately real. If the waker is not ultimately real, then the waker as the agent of action cannot be ultimately real. If there is no ultimately real agent of action, there cannot be any real karma also. No real consequence also. This is what he is asking. And the straight answer to that is yes. Shankaracharya, in one of his commentaries, you see, this is a very profound thing because whole of Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, Sikhism, all the Indian religions are explicitly based on the law of karma. All of them accept, in spite of their vast internal diversities. Buddhism does not accept God. It does not accept a permanent, unchanging self. Ishvara, Atma, no. But it accepts law of karma. And what this Mandukya does is, it smashes the law of karma to bits. It gets rid of the law of karma also. Shankaracharya says, correct. Ultimately speaking, the law of karma is not right. Ultimately speaking.
Just as the laws of physics are not right.
Ultimately speaking, yes. In what sense? What Advaita does is, it divides reality into three tiers, three levels of reality. There is the ultimate reality which it calls paramarthika, the absolute reality. There is a transactional reality which we inhabit, which is this waking reality. which it calls Vyavaharika, transactional reality. And then there is a level of illusion, error, dream, which it calls Pratibhasika. Example, right now, this reality which we inhabit, Vedanta would call it Vyavaharika, transactional, empirical, relative reality. The dreams which we have, the snake which we see by mistake on a rope, the water which we see by mistake in a desert, in mirage, illusions, or the dreams, they are called Pratibhasika, illusory. And Brahman alone is Paramarthika, or Turiyam is Paramarthika, the absolute. What Vedanta is trying to do is to shift us, shove us from this empirical reality, identification with the entities of empirical reality, into the Paramarthika, the reality, Turiyam. It's like, suppose this were a dream, our dream, and somebody in the dream comes and tells you, look, all this is, we are inhabiting a dream. The reality is you are sleeping on your bed and imagining all this. Now the bed and you sleeping on it and imagining all of it, that's nowhere part of the dream. If somebody comes and tells you, you are actually on your bed and imagining all this. Now if you go around in the dream searching for the bed and where am I sleeping and where am I imagining all this, you will never find it in the dream. But that's the truth. That's the ground of this entire dream. Similarly, this entire Vyavaharika Jagat, this appearance, world of appearances, transactional world, is grounded in the absolute, which is Turiyam. Law of karma applies in Vyavaharika, in the relative world. It does not apply to the Turiyam. Vivekananda put it in a very simple way. Good, good, bad, bad, and none escape the law. Law of karma?
I 100% agree with that. I got slapped like a motherfucker. How have you gotten your karma? Good or bad? And what happened? Let me know in the comments. I need the engagement anyways.
Moral action, you get good results, happiness. Immoral action, get bad results.
I feel like karma is kin to manifestation. They're on the same family tree, I believe. I think good karma helps with positive manifestation. I may be wrong, but it seems like that should be a law. Let me know if you agree in the comments.
Unhappiness. And none escape the law, he says. Then, but whosoever wears a form wears the chain too. Wears a form means whoever is identified with a body and mind, this body and mind, is also identified with a chain which is tied to this body and mind. What is the chain? It's the chain of past karma. The load of our past deeds and misdeeds is upon us, though we know it not. It's continuously giving results in the form of our pleasant and unpleasant experiences through our days and months and years. So that is the chain which we are tied to. Now what does Mandukya say and what does Vivekananda say? Next line. But far beyond name and form, body and mind, far beyond name and form is Atman ever free, or in our language is Turiyam ever free. Know thou art that sannyasi bold. Say Om Tat Sat Om. In our language, far beyond, that means right here, and yet transcending it, like the waking transcends the dream, the Paramarthika, the absolute transcends the relative, is.
I'm going to link my Who Am I video at the end of this, and he touches on that way more and goes in way more detail. If you're new, you should go down that route. That's what I would suggest. I'm going to have the link at the end, so watch out for it. Shut up, Wes.
Turiyam ever free. Know thou art that. O Girish bold. Say Om Tat Sat Om. While inhabiting this,
I also did a video of that thou art he just referenced. I did that video as well. It'll be linked at the end.
So the law of karma will continue to appear to function and give results. But you are not affected by it. And that not affected Turiyam is the absolute. This law of karma will continue to function just like a dream. At this level, yes. But at that level, the deeper level, the reality itself, no.
A follow-on thing, which is that so karma exists.
This shit will blow your mind if you let it. I can see why people get turned off by it. I am deeply immersed in its beauty. But I can see why somebody would feel the opposite. Just because I can put my what am I looking for? Myself in other people's shoes very easily. I can relate to the left and the right, and left wing, right wing, same bird, all stupidity.
The waking level, if you would.
Yes.
And so do the laws of physics. And so to the enlightened man, if you would, or person, the laws of physics wouldn't apply.
Wouldn't apply as Turiam, not as this waking person. I'll give you an example. Once...
Yeah, don't think that, because you will die if you don't think the law of physics applies to you right now, because you will fall and die. So, they definitely probably don't apply to, like he's saying, you go to the deepest level. When I first did it, the Tonya thing, I explained it as like the blanket that covers all of religion and spirituality. It's the bottom layer of everything. It ties everything together. The only single thing is everything. Shout out Alam Baptiste III. Shut up, us.
Swami, it's very the happily named Swami Turiyananda, because we are talking about Turiyam. Swami Turiyananda was a disciple of Sri Ramakrishna. Once he was there with an American Swami, Swami Atulananda, and they were on their way to a pilgrimage in Hardwar or somewhere, I forget. And they
How do you get your Swami name? Like, it seems like, I don't know what I'm thinking. But how do you get your Swami name? I've seen some interesting ones. It's probably who mentors you. Is that right? Let me know in the comments.
camped one night with a lot of other pilgrims in a hut. And this is in the reminiscences of Swami Atulananda. Swami Turiyananda was a great Vedantist. So there was a discussion on Vedanta, and there were pilgrims sitting all around a roaring fire at night. It was winter. Then one of the gentlemen challenged Swami Turiyananda. He was saying all this is an appearance, is a dream. So your body is a dream, this fire is a dream, and this experience, what you're experiencing now is just an appearance. You are the unchanging consciousness. So can you put your hand in this fire? And Turiyananda said immediately, Atulanji records, he got excited immediately and stood up and said, yes, I'll thrust my hand in the fire. It will get burned, but that does not affect me, the witnessing consciousness. And he was about to jump into the fire when people rushed and caught him and pulled him back. Now you see, it does not violate common sense or physics. But what it says is, I have recognized myself as the witness consciousness. The body and the fire are at the same level of reality. So the fire will burn the body. The laws of physics and chemistry and biology will act upon the body. And the mind too. But I, the witness consciousness, I am not the body and mind. It's as simple as that. Somebody asked, I think it...
This shit blows my mind, guys. Absolutely blows it. But I am in love with it.
Just yesterday, Bill pointed out a famous story about Dr. Johnson, Samuel Johnson, I think, and Bishop Berkeley, who was the subjective idealist, who said everything that's different from Vedanta, but it's still, he said everything is in the mind. The world exists because I experience it. And then Samuel Johnson, he says, I refute it thus, and he kicked a rock. See, there's a resistance, it bounces, it hurts my foot. So this is real, how is it in my mind? But don't you think the same thing would happen if you do it in a dream? In a dream, which is entirely in your mind, if you go and kick a rock in Central Park, will the dream rock not hurt your dream foot? It will. You might even utter a dream ouch. That does not make the dream rock any more real. At the same level,
How about that punch that you throw that never connects? Isn't that weird how it's universal that when you try to throw a punch in your dream that your arm turns to spaghetti? Do you guys think that's like a low-key, built-in, like, safety precaution that God gave us to kind of push peace? You got to have a break from arguing and fighting. We don't ever agree with each other, and we barely know how to coexist in the same existence. So we need to start working on that, guys. Love the people that you don't like so you can love yourself properly, and you can teach the next person how to do it beautifully, and we can get some progress going on this planet before we're all wiped out.
they act on each other. But the great discovery of Shankaracharya, what the great insight is, that which is at a lower level of reality does not affect the higher level of reality. So, whatever happens in the dream, Janaka lost his kingdom, was wounded, humiliated, frustrated, in despair. In the dream, when he wakes up, none of it has affected him. I mean, still, his heart may pound a little bit, but he will say, oh, it didn't happen. Of course, philosopher, yes, satya, wo sach. But the dream did not affect his waking. All the things which went on in the dream had no effect on the waking, because the waking is a higher level of reality than the dream. Shankaracharya.
What do y'all think about people that look into dreams way too much? Like they'll try to figure out the meaning of it. I think it's impossible to figure out the meanings of dreams. I think it's got hundreds and thousands of years of evolution that has built on it. Just the same as I think the death process is probably perfected as well. It's a major part of our lives, and it's been going on since the beginning of mankind. So I'm pretty sure the death process has been perfected, so I wouldn't be worried about it. I forgot my point. I'll remember it in a second.
Says, not one grain of sand in the desert can be made wet by the water of the mirage. You can see a whole oasis of water. It will have no effect on the sand of the desert. It remains unaffected because they are not at the same level of reality. An unreal oasis can exist with a real desert. An unreal snake can coexist with a real rope. An unreal defeat in the battle can coexist with the emperor retaining his empire and being very happy in the waking state. Unreality and reality have no clash. But does the real level of the higher level of existence, does it affect the lower level of experience? Yet it does. How? It forms the basis of that. Unless you are a waker, you cannot go to sleep and dream. Unless there is a real desert.
The ethical basis, I think. It sets the ethics for this.
Snake cannot appear.
So, damn. If you don't have good, or if you don't have evil, you can't have good. So, one comes with the other. We are all connected, and you cannot run from opposites. I say you gotta blend them. Blend opposites. Get in that middle, that lukewarm middle. Never too hot, never too cold. You can put yourself in everybody's shoes. You can kind of relate both ways, and come on. We gotta get there, guys. Stop getting all crazy with politics and shit. Y'all are weird as fuck. Excuse my language. Shut up, Wes.
This rope or the oasis or the desert or the waking, all of this is based on a yet higher level of reality, which is pure consciousness, the non-dual consciousness, Turiyam. This cannot affect that, but that gives this existence. And that thing which gives this existence, that is what you are, really. Once you know that, you will continue to inhabit this very happily. You will not be affected by the problems here. Then this itself, there are beautiful verses. Nandanavanam, this itself becomes the garden of the gods. In Nandanavanam is supposed to be in in heaven, the garden of the gods. This world, samsara of terrible ills and frightening samsara, becomes your pleasure garden.
All right. Very nice. It was nice to get to touch back on the Tonya and the very beginning of Advaita Vedanta, besides that story that we've been going down on the Upanishad, the Katha Upanishad, which I believe the next episode will be the last of the story, and then the rest after that it bases off that story. So, anyways, if you made it this far, thank you, Barb. Thank you very much. I really appreciate your support. If you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing if you enjoyed it. I don't have the most entertaining content because not a lot of people really like to watch lectures and stuff. So all of the engagement is needed. Please engage. Let me know what you're thinking. Give me a recommendation on which you want me to react to next. If you feel generous, you can subscribe to my Patreon, get early access. I do live Q&As over there. You can buy a t-shirt. My Cash App's in the description. Everything's in the description if you want to feel extra generous. If not, liking and subscribing and sharing is all free. But I hope you enjoyed yourself. I'm gonna let y'all go. Be watching out for my next video on the Katha Upanishads, probably at the end of this week. Alright, love you guys. Go love somebody that you don't like so you can love yourself properly and we can start spreading the word of love in this bitch. Love you. Be good.